everyone. A very warm welcome to another exciting episode of Psychology Talks. And today's episode is so special because it is dedicated to Healthcare Summit, which is going to happen in 2 days. And we have Apurv Gupta and Valerie Propspread with us today. And we'll be taking you through that how just the simple idea got into this and it became kind of a global movement. And we have lots of uh, big dreams and big visions to take this further. So, very warm welcome to this special episode. Thank you for joining Apur and Valerie.
Thank you so much, Ambreen, for hosting us.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Ambreen.
yeah. So let's begin the show. I'm so excited, and I can't believe that it's in 2 days.
I know, right? I'm so
Unbelievable.
excited. We first started talking about it maybe like 2 months ago, and we had the most amazing phone call where we just were on fire with ideas and talking about this shared vision of healthcare and how there's so much that needs to change. And through a loving organization, when we met Apurv Gupta, Ambreen and I were just like, gosh, this is just so important. And we need to collaborate together and create some type of summit that really stands out, that's unique. And it's kind of how it all started back early this summer.
That's exactly how I remember it too. Although from the other side, I felt like, wow, who are these two people, this dynamic duo, impact activators? And you could feel the impact literally just from who you are, your personalities, and then the way you work, and just the people you brought together. And there was a lot of energy and potential, just in the conversation. So I too, just like both of you, felt like, my goodness, I have to find a way to work with you because these are two people that are really driven and determined to really make an impact and doing it in a way that actually feels great, to be a part of. Yeah, because oftentimes you think impact has to be reduced because people are pushing and elbowing each other out of the way to create impact and to get recognition for the impact. And sort of there's some negative connotations potentially for that as well. And of course, I've never ever felt that way with working with both of you. It's a extremely dynamic, cooperative, collaborative, synergistic process, which is reinforces our collective belief in something that I know that's near and dear to us, that we can be loving about the approach, and we don't have to be only driven, only motivation by competition or by fear.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I can feel that. I mean, the synergy, seriously, it's so smooth. Like, we don't feel any kind of, I would say, resistance or any like negative attitude or negative vibes. Like, we just decide and we just say, okay, let's do it. And it's like, all of us like in on the same page. So I love this energy. So I know, like, before we start the, like, kind of a discussion, less like of for I wouldn't say the formally, just like give a bit of introduction about each other, because I know, like, my audience know me, that I'm a psychologist and a founder of Psychology Talks, and also, like, me and Valerie are collaborating on Impact Activator. But let's do this a little bit so, like, our audience get to know. So I'll just start with I will just ask Apu to actually give a bit of introduction, that about, especially about your loving organization, your mission about this, so we can all, like, further build upon this, that how we started this collaborating on this particular mission.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Ambreen. And I would just say it's our loving organization because both of you are part of it. You know,
Yeah.
so that's the great thing about this
Yes.
collaboration is it's truly synergistic, and it's truly the way in which we've set it up, because the loving organization is a not for profit. We did that deliberately so that there wouldn't be this question of who owns what. We all own it. It's just a matter of getting involved, learning about it, holding hands like we are, and saying, "Hey, what can we do?" And you folks both immediately, as soon as you heard about it, learned about it, said, "Hey, we can do a conference. We're really experts at that. We're going to help spread the word. We're going to help make sure people understand what is a loving organization." So to me, that's the beauty. That's what a loving organization really is about. as a consortium. We are a group of about 70 charter members. They come from all over, many different industries. A lot of people like myself are focused in healthcare, but we have a lot of non-healthcare people as well, IT people, education people, some finance people as well that have come on board, with the primary mission of helping the world to recognize that there is such a thing called a loving organization, that it's possible to take a loving approach towards management, towards leadership, towards organization that can actually deliver great outcomes across the board. And that's a really viable and a more sustainable alternative to fear based management, which is kind of the default that most of us wind up learning and practicing over the course of our lives in society. Even in our families, we practice this way. So it's not just about organizations, and it's not about any particular society. Societies across the world have the same challenges of managing each other through fear, because that's all what we've learned. Well, with the loving organization approach, what we've learned by actually studying organizations that are doing it differently, that it's actually possible to take a loving approach at the organizational level. So it's not incumbent just upon the individuals to take the burden on, to integrate love systematically into the elements of the organization, such as the culture, the technology, the policies, the workflows, all of the systems of the organization. We can make them infused with love rather than with fear. And when we do that, then we get great outcomes, which are all the tangible outcomes that everyone's looking for. For example, in healthcare, you get better quality, better safety, better patient experience. You get lower burnout and lower turnover and improved profitability. So you get all the great outcomes that everyone's looking for, and you get it in a way that's more sustainable, again, because you're not burning your people out. So I'll leave it at that. Of course, there's always so much more background to get into, but hopefully that's a good intro to Loving Organization. And again, just thank you both for joining in the cause with both hands, both feet, and all heart and all mind, everything all in. You both jumped in right away, and we've been able to get to this precipice now of launching our health summit.
Yes, amazing. I mean, we really like the mission that especially the way you have gathered people, that the way you are leading this loving organization. Your mission is so, I would say, that close to our hearts that we can say that, oh my God, this is something that we need to work together to actually create more impact. So I'll actually now ask Valerie to just give us a brief introduction about you.
Well, thank you so much. And I am so excited. And I love, of course, how you're saying both hands, both feet. And I really do feel like that, where I am
Yeah.
so thrilled to be a part of Loving Organization and to be able to collaborate with impact activators. I think is so close to my heart, as once I became a mom, I come with I'm a nurse practitioner. I have pediatric experience, pediatric neurology experience. I saw healthcare prior to becoming a mom in a very different light. But I had my first baby in the NICU. And that was such a paradigm shift for me, where I not only saw healthcare from the provider side, but also from the patient side. And then I saw it from other levels as well, of just different interactions in a way that it was just this like eye-opening shift, where there was so much fear. There was so much fear from the patient side, the providers, sometimes the with colleagues. There was just so much of that, and it was kind of how you're saying, that is how things move sometimes. That is how things get done with this fear-based model. But what I desperately needed in that time, and what I feel like so many of us needed, was that love to get things moving forward. I remember a particular moment where I was really struggling with anxiety and I couldn't think straight. And the provider stopped what she was saying, saw that, and gave me a hug and said, "You need a hug right now, Mom." And I will never forget that simple act, and how that changed everything, and how that really changed my mindset, how that changed like the day, how I could understand what was going on. And if we don't feel that safety, that love, then it's hard for patient or provider, for anyone, to really be able to do things the way we're called to do them. And so I think this is so important and so close to my heart. So thank you again for all that you are doing. It is so needed and so important.
Yes, you said it so well that it's at this point in time we see that, as a healthcare provider, or like, because you have the experience of both sides, right? You've been there as a patient and you've been there as a like provider, so you know the both side of the story. So it's really important that you understand the the both side of perspective. So I think that's when, like, especially when Apu came to us and, just say that you have this mission to kind of, bring this love and compassion into this industry. And it's not, I would just say that it's not only limited to the healthcare. It's like, we have the mission and we have this vision to actually take it further, to take it to the other industries as well. Because I think, the kindness and the love is not limited to any kind of field or any industry. It is there, and there is so much, it's so much needed at this point in time in this world. Because when we see that, especially in the healthcare, we see that like clinicians and healthcare providers are burning out because of all those pressures that people want, especially from the top management, that, they need to have maximize the profits. It's taking a toll on providers and clinicians. So it's time now to actually give empower them, that because they are actually the ones who are healing the patients, who are healing the world. But now it's time to heal the system so they can even perform better. So I think your mission, it's collaborate, it's like synchronized with us so well that, we think that we need to take the action to create much farther impact. So yeah.
And that's so much of what our first phone call was talking about, as to we see this issue in healthcare, and we see it. It's a literally can be a diagnosis, and how can we incorporate that into our training as healthcare providers? As we talk about SOAP notes, and when we are seeing a patient, we look at the subjective findings. What is the patient? What are they saying to me? What is the story? The objective, like what am I seeing with my own eyes? What are the vital signs? As well as what is my assessment? And then, as you're saying, Ambreen, what is the action? What is the plan? And we even talked about that as to why don't we make this summit into a SOAP note format, because we are seeing as a diagnosis this fear-based management and we need more love in it. So how can we make that in this way?
Yeah, I'll just reiterate that too, Valerie. I think it just struck us being in the industry and with some clinical backgrounds amongst us as well. That wait a second here, a lot of the approaches we're thinking about taking from an organizational point of view may make clinicians, individuals feel like, okay, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm not a leader. I'm not a VP. I'm not a manager or director. What about me? I'm just like a lowly, lonely clinician, just on the front lines. And yet I'm the one who's bearing the brunt of all of this, the weight of the organization's inefficiencies and challenges. So that's particularly why I feel like the SOAP note really hit us as this is a great way to leverage all of the incredible clinical discipline and skills and talent that has been honed over many decades of medical school, nursing school, physical therapy school, pharmacy school, whatever school we've gone to, we've all learned about this SOAP note format. And it's just a simple way to kind of help diagnose what's going on and then to come up with a problem based solution for it, which is essentially what systems thinking and systems based approach is really about. So this SOAP note nicely takes our clinical backgrounds and expertise and now converts it into systems based expertise so that every one of us individual clinicians don't have to feel like we don't have the authority and the position. We should all feel empowered and educated and supported in taking on a systems oriented approach to diagnosing challenges and addressing them.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I would just like to mention here that, like, I'm not a clinician or even I was not even linked to or related to healthcare industry. And when actually you were talking about the soap notes, I was feeling like quite alienated. What exactly is? But then when I got to know, it was so, I would just say it was so apt that, you use these soap notes to actually empower those clinicians. it's I mean, I love this approach, because as like I got to know more about it, I said, I think, oh my god, this is the best idea that we can actually take, adopt for this summit. I would like to just add here that, let's educate our audience that, what they will be expecting in the healthcare summit if they attend.
Yeah, it's going to be really amazing. I'm very excited. It will be starting at 7 a.m. Eastern, and it's going all day until approximately 7 p.m. Eastern. And about every hour, sometimes it'll be 30 minutes, sometimes 45 minutes, but essentially every hour there will be a new speaker or a panel or at a facilitating session.
Mhm.
So we are so excited to have so many amazing leaders joining us for that. And it will be done through Zoom. And be sure to sign up for it. The link will be in the comments. And when you sign up, you'll get an email from Impact Activators that will give you the link for every single session. We encourage you to attend any session that you can. The links will be really easy to click on each one. It's in one document. And we will also encourage participation. We want this to be something that really can make a difference, that we are hearing from you, that you're connecting with all these amazing leaders and speakers. So we're so excited. I'm very excited for Saturday, September 6th, which is in 48 hours or less than that.
Yes.
Yes, but who's counting? Yes, I mean, incredible launch. Incredible launch. And this is the power of both of you, the impact activators, to be able to get this planned in such a short amount of time and it's on a global scale. I mean, this is we're inviting everyone because we believe this problem is truly universal. We can all participate and support each other and learn about it. You're going to be meeting, as Valerie was just saying, about 15 or so world-class experts in this area of how can you use your clinical skills to become better diagnosticians of systems-based issues to make our overall systems more healing and more loving. You may not be able to attend every single one of the sessions. That's okay, but you can attend certainly the ones you would like, and then you'll be able to access the others at a subsequent time. We're also hoping that this isn't just a one-time thing. Again, with impact activators, what else would you expect? We are hoping that there will be more follow-up activities, that we're hoping that there will be educational materials and other tools that will come out of this session that we will be sharing with individuals as well as with organizations as ways that they could support this work. And we're hoping that we'll continue building upon this theme as we go forward. Because we really believe that if we can harness truly the power of the individual clinicians, then we can really make a difference in healthcare throughout the world.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. And I would just add that, it's such an incredible event. I mean, like we have gathered all those speakers. They are highly expert in their fields, and they have much more experience in that. And I think those who will be attending, they will not only be gaining from their presentations, but they can also interact with them. So it's also a chance for them to network with them, and they will be able to actually, you can connect with all those highly esteemed and highly, like, they are very much renowned experts in their field. So they will be able to get the chance to connect with them, interact with them. And even if they have the questions, you can directly like communicate with them. So like, it's not just the like a kind of just a like presentation sort of thing, like, especially when you attend these large meetings, when you don't have the chance to interact with the speakers. In this particular summit, you will have the chance to interact with them live and directly. You can learn from them. If you have any questions, you can directly ask, and then they will be able to actually explain you in detail. And even if they cannot explain you right there and then, you would be able to get the chance to actually like connect with them. And as Apurv said, that we are also, it's not just a one-time activity that we are planning. It will be there will be some follow-up activities. So it's not just like you will just show up one time and then you forget that what's happened. No, we're gonna follow up. We're gonna make sure that you make some benefit out of this summit. It's not just like you attend and then you forget. We make sure that you don't forget. We'll keep following up with you. We'll just say that, okay, and we'll help you implement all those strategies that you learn. And one of those things that which are like Apu and Valerie already has pointed out, that its structure is in a way that it will be giving you some practical I would say examples, practical practices, so which you can apply it, go and you can apply it in your daily practice, like the soap notes, which is like I would say the groundbreaking framework. So I think there will be a lot of learning in that summit. And if you have not registered, please register now. The link is in, you can see it in the ticker and also is in the comment. So anything would you like to add, Apu or Valerie?
I don't think so. I think that I am just so excited. So I really just want to reiterate what both of you guys are saying, as well as register if you haven't registered. And it will be a great event, and so excited for it all.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of speechless myself, so I really don't have anything to add. But when you ask, then you have to add something. So I'll try to add something. What I'll say is, Ambreen, you mentioned this in your point just now, is that this isn't just a talk and a conversation and a concept. It's also a community. We are building a community of like-minded people that are working together. That's actually what the consortium is, the Loving Organization Consortium. We're not for profit, registered in Delaware. We are building up our capacity. We welcome people to join us. So those of you who come and listen in and participate and you say, hey, I can't get enough of this, I want more. Well, as Ambreen said, you can reach out to the individual speakers and connect with them. And you can certainly reach out to one of us as the organizers and connect with us, and or just join our community, the Loving Organization Consortium, so that you can learn more and participate on an ongoing basis. Because really what we need is all of you individuals to not only understand and grasp all these ideas, but to bring to us your own ideas for ways in which we can actually collaborate and work together and try to figure out how can we take this loving organization concept back into individual organizations. Again, whether you're an individual a clinician, or you're an administrator, or you're a manager, or you're a leader, we all potentially have some way in which we can reintroduce these concepts back into our home organizations. So we really very much welcome that level of participation and community building and idea generation, so that we can keep building upon this.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And I would also like to, add here the current situation of the healthcare. I know that a lot of people maybe who are listening to it, they may not be aware, like, especially why we are actually giving so much importance of empowering, clinician. So the current situation, as like we just briefly touched upon, that it's too much pressure on the clinician and healthcare. It's like when they are actually dealing with the people, it's like they are dealing with the lives of the people, their lives depend on them. So it's not just the one piece you would say that we need to fix the industry. It's not only this, like healthcare industry is not just the industry, it's like people's lives depend on this. And again, it's not only the patient's life. When we are looking at this kind of system, it's also the lives of the clinicians, the providers of the healthcare. And when we actually look out, like when we zoom out and we look at the both sides, so we need to see that how the system, the current system of the healthcare is impactive, is impacting the lives of their patients, like whom they're healing. So this we would say that this needs to be addressed at this particular moment, because it is kind of in a mess. So maybe Apurv or Valerie, you can point out that what is the current situation and why do we think that this summit is needed at this current is in this time.
Sure. Yes, I'll be happy to jump in. And Valerie, please, you jump in as well. That it's a very, on the one level, a very breathtaking sort of question. You really have to pause before you answer that, because healthcare is not even just one system; it's multiple systems in multiple countries around the globe. It's everywhere. And unfortunately, what we're hearing, as we have colleagues, yourself, Umbreen in the Middle East, Valerie and I are in the U.S. We have colleagues in New Zealand, in India, in Canada, in other parts of Europe as well, that are all working on this. And unfortunately, what we're hearing almost across the board is that the same problems are plaguing healthcare in no matter what region. So this is not a local problem. It's not a sociological problem. It's not a problem of the payment approach, because we in the U.S. like to blame the payments as the root cause of all problems. Certainly, the payments in the systems in the U.S. may be complicating the problem, but it's not fundamentally only a payment problem because it's rampant throughout the world, where we're seeing that patients are not really happy with what they get out of healthcare. So that's probably the one key symptom and trend, is that in general there's a lot of waits and delays and dissatisfaction with the level of information that's being communicated, and ultimately dissatisfaction with the with the type of care, the way it's being delivered, and not with the love and compassion and healing touch that really should be there. Again, we hear about that from all sectors of the globe. The other thing attendant to that, and Amreen, that you were just pointing out, is that at the same time, the people of healthcare are burning out in larger and larger numbers. This really, I mean, it's been going on for decades anyway, but it really went through the roof during COVID, when it suddenly became apparent that nurses were burning out in really large numbers. Again, they were already burning out before, but it just became more evident. And now, again, in almost every discipline that you look at, there's almost up to 50% of doctors or nurses, are said to be burning out, and this is also a global challenge. So that's the twin-headed challenge we're trying to address: is that patients are not ultimately getting what they want out of the healthcare system, while the caregivers and care providers themselves are feeling very, very beat up and burnt out in the process. That's where we think love comes in as the solution. That ultimately, if we treat our people themselves, those who work in the organizations, with love, then those people find more meaning and purpose and joy in their work. And therefore, they're more likely to be willing to want to collaborate, work with each other, and fix the systems to deliver the great results that patients want. So, in order for us to get this to the level of the patient, we really do have to start first with just looking at our own people and making sure their needs are taken care of. I think it's timely. It's probably well past its time anyway, as many people say who've been working on this for decades. But it's very timely because the world is paying attention. I think we're coming upon this and developing this movement and this momentum at the right time, because a lot of people around the world have realized that the status quo cannot prevail, that the systems are going to burn and crash, that they have to do something differently. They've already tried over many decades. They've tried many different approaches to try to fix individual problems from a performance improvement perspective. They've even tried to fix cultural issues, but the problems persist. So what we really need is this holistic, integrated, love-based approach at a systems level that brings the whole organization into the game, rather than expecting this to be on the backs of individuals. And so we hope and believe that the Loving Organization is meeting the market at the right time, when it's desperately needed, unfortunately, throughout the world. Valerie, please jump in with your perspectives.
I absolutely agree, and I'll just echo what you're saying. I think that so much of the time, looking through healthcare provider lens, is that we are seeing a complex issue that essentially is something that we're saying is a simple solution, but yet it's not at the same time. And isn't that so much of what we see as providers? So many times we have to break down these complex histories, these complex constellation of symptoms that we are seeing on now a systems level, a larger level. But if we kind of go through the review of systems, like you said before, what are we seeing? What are we hearing? What is the heartbeat saying? What is the respiration? All these type of things are pointing to a complex issue. But yet, how can we make a simple solution, which again isn't easy, but it's something that we just have to kind of see how we can push this message forward. Like you're saying, it is time now. We're seeing this across the globe. And now we have to simply, but not easily, but simply kind of join hands and hear each other, see each other, and really say, are you struggling with this as well? Are you hearing me? Are you seeing me? And I think the more we can do that, the more we can spread our voices, we can say, okay, how can we now move forward? So really utilizing those skills and just simply doing that, but yet it takes hard work, it takes dedication, but I know we can do it. And like you're saying, Apurv and Ambreen, this is the time is now. So I think that that is what I would have to say about the current healthcare system and what we can do about it today.
Absolutely. So I think this is, as you said, the time is now, and I think we need to take the action. And we have taken the action, and I hope that it's time now for the audience and the participants that they attend our summit and they learn from it. And then what we are trying to give the message, they need to start applying to that message. And that is the only way we can create the ripple effect. Then we can actually then through only with their participation, with their help, you'll be able to fix the system. So I think that's it for today's sneak peek. I think they need to attend more to our to the healthcare summit, which is on September 6th from 7 a.m. Eastern time to 7 p.m. It's a 12-hour actually event, and we kept this 12-hour because that's the kind of the entire day. It's like 12-hour, and that's the, I think, duty of this, like all those healthcare providers also. So it's going to, I think, help all those people who's going to attend, especially healthcare provider and clinicians, so they can actually use those steps, those learning to their practices and heal the system together. So thank you, Valerie and Apurv. I can't wait to actually for the Saturday and have this discussions in more detail with all our amazing speakers. So thank you so much to the audience also. I hope to see you all there. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.